Um,
Okay.
I think we're kind of in a unique spot here because we have worked together so many
Mm-hmm.
times, at least over replay codes, but we've not actually been in a call together. So I'm really excited for this session. How have you been?
You mean in general?
Yeah, just in general. You doing good?
Yeah,
Game's been
yeah.
okay?
Doing good. Like mine is an up and down, like always in life. But I'm
Yes.
getting consistent time for Overwatch, so it's
Good.
good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Now, I'm interested to hear what got you interested in the full hour session, the voice section, because we've had what I think three replay reviews. I think
hmm
one, two, maybe four, three or four, and now we're in a call. So why the full hour here?
So first, I want to say that the biggest reason I didn't start with the full hour was only constraints in timing in your calendar. So
Yes.
because half an hour was like 4 week wait time and the full hour was like 8 week wait time.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest constraint. Otherwise, I would have done it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And also back then, when I started with IO stacks, I
Yes.
basically just got the recommendation of doing sometimes full hour, sometimes half hour, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I think now, kind of, since I'm thinking about switching characters and so on, it might be useful to get a full hour review.
Yeah.
Since the
Makes
last
total
reviews were
sense.
all half an hour, so
Yeah, makes
it's
total sense. Makes total sense. And I think it will be useful because going into this call, you kind of already have an idea of my philosophy when it comes to coaching the game. So you
Mhm.
kind of already know like what I'm looking for, and so we can focus on some of the other aspects as well. So obviously you're a streamer, you're high plat, low diamond, mostly hit scan, playing Overwatch, streaming Overwatch around 4 hours a day. I know we've looked at some of your Ashe. We've looked at some of your. Let's go back here. We've looked at a lot of Ashe actually. A little bit of Tracer and Sombra. Wow, that was a long time ago. Some Sombra stuff a
some of
long,
long
long
time
time
ago. Yeah.
ago. Long time ago. Yeah. Okay, so sounds good. So let me look through your form here. What do you hope to get out of the session? Improve in the previous sessions. Also figure out what's holding you back from improving faster. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? Currently, awareness. Usually, I die because I couldn't predict the outcome. Oh, so we got a lot of words here. Let me read this out loud here. So,
Yeah.
usually, I die because I could not predict the outcome of an action correctly. For example, if I want to fight an enemy, but suddenly he gets another defensive cooldown like armor pack, I feel like if I wait for all cooldowns to be thrown, I wait forever. But if I don't confirm every single ability used, I mispredict a lot and just feed, but directly training awareness is nearly impossible. Yeah, I mean, awareness in general is not something that you can practice as a whole. It's like saying, you just need to train athleticism, right? Like, how do you get
hmm
more athletic? Well, I don't know. Do you mean like jumping higher or running faster or dodging or strength or flipping or like it's a little bit of all of them. And so, it can be very hard to kind of narrow that down, right? Also, from coaching, I have a rough plan of what to do, but I'm really lost in how to adapt if it fails. Like, I want to train to stay in a good angle longer, but the enemies just have a Smurf Hanzo that keeps focusing me, or they have a pharmacy on my reach, but I fail to kill the Ana because she just gets 2 bubbles. In theory, I understand that if I get indirect value, but I'm still losing. My team is still throwing because my stats are garbage, and if my teammates happen to have a different plan, it just doesn't work. Like if the team play disappears. Okay, so basically, I think maybe there's some things that you don't fully understand. Maybe because we haven't jumped in a call together. Maybe we haven't been able to explain them to you. Maybe we haven't had good questions back and forth because replay reviews are useful. But I think getting in the voice call and talking is much better. But
hmm
it's more likely that you do understand at least the theory and the strategy, but you just are struggling to actually implement it. Like it's not happening. And that's normal. That's more common than the opposite. So what we need to do is find out what's going wrong in training and what we can do better. So let's start with something a little bit backwards. Obviously, you've been playing Overwatch for a while.
Yeah.
So when you have made progress, when you have improved in Overwatch, whether it was from my session, an IOStuck session, or maybe just even your own play, right? Maybe just some ideas. When you felt like you were getting better, what hero were you playing? Do you remember any of those moments when you really felt like you were improving?
Oh, that's a tough one
Mm-hmm.
because I kind of never felt I improved ever. I only felt when I switched my mindset drastically, but it was kind of before playing better. So basically, I like I really don't know if I kind of ever felt, oh, today I'm better than last week or last month or whenever. It's like even going to the depths that when I how to say it, when I was at Ostax, like I had my VOD reviews on video back then, and I watched a Sombra gameplay like half a year ago, which was like 700 below, and I didn't find it too bad. So it's kind of like yeah, I really struggle to notice when I'm getting better. So it's sometimes notice small things like my crosshair placement on Ashe got a lot better, for example, or I know that I'm using cover a little bit more on autopilot, which is of course better. Um, but these are kind of like there is not really a moment where I thought, yeah, now I'm better than whenever previous time. I never
Right.
thought that.
So you've gotten worse, though, rank-wise. I mean, I'm looking back to 2023, and even though I think with the rank reset, things have gotten tighter, right? So I think Masters back then is probably more like Diamond today. But even going from Diamond to what are you rank-wise right now? Plat 1, Plat 2?
Platinum 1, Plat 2, yeah.
Okay, so Platinum 1, Plat 2. You've gotten a little bit worse.
But this is mostly to character switch. Like Sombra is still my one and most and strongest character. Whenever I say, ah man, I just want to win now, I switch Sombra and I win. I never got to a point in where I just win with Tracer or with Echo.
Got it.
With Ashe, I actually got to the point where I consistently get the highest numbers in the lobby and I feel good about, yeah, I'm better than everyone here. But I still, like Sombra is still my go-to winning character. So it's...
So when you quote unquote got worse, it's not really that you got worse. You just played harder or heroes that you weren't as good at, pretty much.
Yeah, well, kind of both. Like I'm not in training with Sombra anymore, so kind of my Sombra has also gotten worse because I'm not training co-actively anymore. Right,
right. But I understand.
Yeah.
Like when you were playing Sombra consistently, that's why you were higher rank, and now it's playing characters like Tracer and Ashe, which you just aren't as good at. So you don't know when you've gotten worse. You don't know if you've gotten better. You're just kind of existing and have been existing for a really long time. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So when you've implemented some of the things that IOStux gave you, or you've implemented some of the things that I gave you, how did practice usually look? How did you usually practice those things? Like if we go through our message history and we get these little things to practice, or maybe IOStux, I'm sure, gave you some things to practice. How did you practice those things? How did it go?
So for our last sessions, I basically have a notepad file, notepad plus a text file for each session, basically, and I have written down what was said and usually at the end of the file I have a translation of what I want to train. Most of the times you have written it, like you send this after Discord messages after coaching most of the times. And so basically before the day I read through the things, or even sometimes before the match. And I try to focus on, like, for example, if there is written, last thing on Edge was rotate back faster, like when I get dived, was the context. And basically then I just play and I press tab, I see what is the divers, and I just try to rotate back faster, literally. So that's how I'm currently mostly training. Like I try to narrow it down to the most atomic thing I can, and then I just train this one atomic. I try as a trainer.
Okay.
As I've written, it's a little bit difficult to keep this up for longer than 2 weeks.
Okay. Why?
Right away. I actually do not know why, but the first week I'm like hyper focused on the topic. I can do it every single time. I start the game. Every round I do is on this topic. But like on week 3, I read the note. I look at the game. I forgot what I just read. I just play. Like I don't know why, but after like 2 weeks, I kind of failed to get the focus in on a single topic. Like
that's normal.
The Discord today was one of the biggest things there. Like I have really trouble keeping focus on the same atomic topic for more than 2 weeks.
Right.
I don't know why.
That's normal.
Okay.
And the reason why, it's boring. Usually for most people, it's just boring. When you work on the same thing over and over again, it's boring. In fact, I'm surprised that you even last 2 weeks. I usually can't last 2 days. I would consider having more and newer things to work on, fresher things to work on, right? So when we go back and we look at your list of things, like let's say from July, Tracer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You need to be practicing those things and keep mixing it up, so it's not as boring. And then when you run out of things to practice, you need to come up with new things to practice. Right?
Okay.
That has to be the number one priority. If practice is boring, then you're not going to practice. The other thing I want to notice as well, and this is where I'm going to be totally, completely honest with you, especially considering you've had some sessions with IOStux, who is also very honest, right? You talk a lot about, you put a lot of emphasis on my stat lines are looking good or my stat lines are looking bad. Smurf, Hanzo, teammates do as well, but teammates don't do well. When you feel your attention being turned away from yourself and instead being turned onto the enemy team or what your teammates are doing, when does that happen? When do you feel frustrated and start to blame teammates or blame enemies? Do you notice that happening often? And if so, when?
Well, it happens basically always when I turn on the chat. So usually for training, I turn it off because of this reason.
So why do you turn on the chat?
Well, sometimes I just play with chat. Like when I don't actively train, I just play, and I just usually play with chat.
Sure.
But of course, when I train, I should turn it off. But sometimes I just don't do. And then someone writes one sentence, like only, and then my brain is gone. So this is just like I'm very easy to distract in this case.
Sure.
But in general, I'm not too distracted by teammates anymore, or even by enemies actually. Like even enemies just teabagging sometimes. Like it triggered me a lot more in the past. Like I physically couldn't train my trace 3 years ago because as soon as someone teabagged me, I just couldn't anymore.
Yes. Yes.
Which was holding me back on Sombra a lot because basically Sombra was hated a lot. But,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But
okay.
this got better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that. One other thing in your form here, or your message to me, you says, I have trouble staying on topic for more than 2 weeks, but your advice was to train it for 4 or 5 weeks. My advice is to train without me for 4 or 5 weeks, but you're probably going to train 4 or 5 different things over 4 or 5 weeks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, this explains a lot.
Yeah. I don't, because I like, let me be honest with you. I don't like coaching people often because if I'm not coaching your team, I don't want to hear from you for like a month because I really want you to figure things out on your own. The students that come to me, so there are some students and I really love them as people and they're very kind and considerate and smart people and I love talking with them. But the more questions I have from a student, the more likely that student is failing. Because the more time that is spent thinking about how they're going to ask me a question, the less time that they are thinking about what is the answer to the question and coming up with it on their own. For example, what I'm going to have us to do today is I'm going to try as little as I can to tell you what the right answer is. I'm going to have you figure it out because I can tell you the answer. I can give you more feedback. I can give you more goals for the 4th time. But that's not really what the problem is here. Something is keeping you in Plat 1 and Plat 2, and it's not me, it's you. It's not your understanding of the game, likely. It's your execution in the game, and we need to find out what that is. Successful players are successful because of them and not the coach. I only get a little tiny bit of credit. So we need to find out what the problem is. We need to make you more self-sufficient. Now I'm going to say one more other thing as well, and I don't want this to change, but this is something to be aware of. Playing on stream is hard.
Yep.
Playing on stream is hard.
Yep.
I do it. I have a hard time. Being a good streamer and being a good player are 2 very different things. There's a reason why a lot of the people that stream for long periods of time are very good at the game, but they're not great. Because if they wanted to be great, they would stop streaming and they'd focus on themselves, right? You look at somebody like a J3 or like the guy has been playing Overwatch for 6 to 7, 8 hours a day for 5, 6 years or longer, actually, I think 7 years, I believe. So why isn't he not a pro player? Because he's reading chat, or he's talking with people in chat. And that's what a good streamer does, right? That's what a good streamer does. But that's why whenever I'm trying to learn a new character, I often play on stream, but most of my quality practice happens off of stream. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to find that mindset where I'm able to practice, maybe between rounds, maybe between matches. I look at my chat, I talk with my chat. Maybe even the first hour of your stream is your practice time. In the second 2 or 3 hours are more relaxed, talk with chat, less focused, if that makes sense. You're going to have to find the answer to the schedule here because I as a streamer, you have these challenges that you're going to have to figure out. So I don't know the answer there. Every time I coach a streamer, we have the same discussion, right? I don't have an answer. That's your call. That's your goal.
Yeah. So I think what I don't know if this is in the right direction, but I sort of actually kind of just commenting on in the past there was one way of training is to talk to yourself what you're currently doing,
Yes.
like so to keep on topic. I think this is something I will implement just to focus on the topic. So I talk about what I'm training. I'm in cover, I'm not in cover. I
Yes.
need to move further to cover and so on. So I
Yes.
talk cover for 1 hour and then I
Yes.
have trained cover for 1 hour.
Yes.
So
Yes,
this is
that's
my
great.
solution for now.
That's great. And I love the way that you said you didn't just say talk Ashe for an hour, talk Tracer for an hour. You said talk cover for an hour. Because if you narrated every single thing that you did with Ashe, which I see some people do, it's impossible to do. Like, I think people see, like, have you ever seen like an A10 unranked GM?
Yeah, on Tracer I've seen.
Yeah. He's so good at narrating what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is that most people, really nobody can do that unless you're already really good at the game. The way most people need to narrate is to choose the one thing that they're practicing, right? And to narrate that, right? Whether that's your rotations, your cooldowns, your cover, like you just said, or what you're planning to do with your ultimate. That's a great thing to narrate too. But you don't try to narrate everything. And that might be a good thing for you to practice is I'm going to be and narrate my rotations. I'm going to narrate my dynamites and coach guns. I'm going to narrate my blinks or whatever. Now that one might be a little hard, but you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So I really encourage you to, before we look at strategy, before we look at, and honestly, ignore strategy for just a little bit, look at how you're practicing, what you're practicing, when you're practicing, the sleep that you're getting, the breaks that you're taking. If you're not taking breaks between games, you probably should. I do it even when I'm streaming. 30 seconds, jump in queue, jump around. Maybe it's something you can talk about when you're with your Twitch chat. Be like, when you guys watch me play, what is your favorite part of watching me play? What's the most entertaining? Is it me popping up or talking with you guys or narrating? Do you guys like the narration? You have an extra challenge compared to most players that want to improve. So you're going to have to figure that one out.
But it's fine for me if I improve slower because of that.
Yes.
But I think there's, of course, room to improve the focus. So it's
Of course.
still right.
Of course.
I kind of misunderstood kind of how this training worked. So I thought kind of I would really work on this one topic for 4 to 5 weeks. So this is why I kind of got wrong and tried to force myself into it. So it kind of explains why it didn't work so well.
Sure.
But I think it's fine.
I think it's fine too. And I want to be very clear that we're totally clear on that topic. When I ask you to focus on something, I don't care how long you practice it. You could practice it for one game and then move on to a different skill. So sometimes when I do live coaching, what I'll do is I'll look at the map or the composition that they're playing versus and decide, oh, this is a good rotation practice map. Like, let's say that you're playing on Circuit Royale, right, as Ashe. That's probably not the best rotation map, right? Because it's just pretty much you're going to stand in a pretty simple corner and just shoot. So you're going to probably practice your dynamite. So you're going to probably practice your crosshair placement or things like that. But if you're on Flashpoint, right, very, very important rotation map because it is so big. So what you could do is you can look at the map, look at the situation and be like, oh, I want to practice this here. I think this would be good to practice. You could be like, I've practiced my positioning all day long. I'm so bored of it. Let's practice some bobs. Let's practice some pole spawn, right? So I want you to practice consistently for at least an hour every day if you can.
Yes.
But you can mix it up every single game if you'd like. You can mix it up every single game if you like. Whatever you'd like to do. Totally up to you.
Okay, mix up the topics. Okay, perfect.
And I think whatever works better for you. Whatever works better for you. For me, I like mixing it up frequently. Some people like to practice one thing and only one thing for an entire week. I don't care. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. Okay, so I think we've answered a few questions. I want you to be very attentive and I want you to keep a lot of your focus specifically on how do I feel when I'm practicing? How do I feel when I'm streaming? Do I feel focused? Do I feel tilted? When I feel really focused, why? What did I do that helped me to practice really well today? Not win games, but to practice really well today. Think about what you did to make that practice good and then do that more. And do that more. For example, I noticed that the taking breaks between cues, back when I was learning Sombra, I really felt my ability to, because Sombra rework was very frustrating sometimes because I got focused down a lot. But I realized when I was taking those frequent breaks, even when I was streaming, I did feel noticeably better and I played noticeably better when I was taking those breaks. So don't just give yourself critiques and criticisms, but when practice is good, ask why. And then do that thing. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Sounds
okay. So for you, the focus is less on strategy in game and strategy out of game. How am I practicing? Okay. We can take a look at a replay code here.
Yeah. I sent you quite a paragraph on Discord.
I see
have
that,
you
yes.
also read that one? Because this is kind
skimmed
of like the open questions I currently have right now.
Okay, so let's talk about those questions. You ask the questions. I'm not going to read the questions. I want to hear you you ask them.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I just wanted to not forget something. So
yes, good call.
The short thing is that basically my echo training sound was not going successfully, and I kind of trained less and less echo to the point where I basically skipped echo classes like at all. My echoes did not improve at all. So my question is basically that I kind of feel like switching echo to Mei. But it also feels like strange to have trained Echo for 4 weeks and then skipping Echo completely. And then with Ashe, Mei, Trace, I have basically no good answer for high ground maps like Gibraltar or Numbani. So it's kind of like a little bit torn in which direction to go and if I can allow myself to basically just switch to Mei.
So let's talk about that.
Not. Yeah.
Number one, did you really like playing Echo? Do you really like playing Echo? Do you really want to play Echo or not really?
So that's a really good question. Actually, yes, but the question is if I want to invest the time that I get to the level where Echo is fun. Because I know that Echo will be a lot of fun for me if I actually manage to get her working at some point.
Okay, so stop. Let me interrupt you right there. Do you have fun playing Echo, a lot of fun playing Echo right now? Right now, who's more fun, Mei or Echo?
Actually, Echo, but I'm winning more on Mei.
You win more when they.
It's hard to say because Echo is fun, but when I try to implement any of the coaching, I just clap and then it just gets flames, and it's of course not so much fun.
Okay. Understandable. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to continue to experiment a little bit more this week between Echo and Mei, and really make that decision. I don't really think your mindset should be, Echo will be fun one day if I'm just get there. If she's not fun now, then don't play her. If she is fun now, then keep playing her, and you will eventually figure it out. She's hard. She's hard. So you're going to either really, really like her and be willing to put the time to practice, or you're not going to really like her that much, and it's going to be too hard, and you're going to quit. Like, the great example is what I just mentioned earlier. Remember the Sombra rework, the thing I was talking to you about, right? Yep. Very frustrating. First 10, 11, 12 hours on that character. I ended up putting, I think, 24 hours on her. Very frustrating because it was very hard and I didn't have a lot of experience actually playing Sombra even before the rework. But I liked playing her, right? When it was really hard, really frustrating, but it was fun. So I was willing to put the time in because it was fun. So that might be the case with you and Echo. It's like it might be frustrating practice, but it might still be fun enough to do it. If it's not, quit and play Mei.
Okay.
I know that's not an easy answer, but it's not an easy question. It's your choice.
Yeah, like in the end, my problem says that whatever I'm doing, I don't feel like any character can ever live up to my Sombra gameplay. That's really my biggest drawback. I'm training, but I just always know when I want to win, I need to switch to Sombra. Whatever I'm currently doing, it's really strange. I don't know.
You'll always look through it through the Sombra lens. Like if I went Sombra here, I would be able to win this game. But that's just because Sombra is your comfort pick, and so. Yeah. Comfort picks become comfort picks with the amount of time that you put into it, and you just don't have the same amount of time on anything else. Okay. Good question. Let's keep going.
Okay. So this of course narrows down the what reviews we can look at. Let me think. What was this about? Yeah. It's again basically the tracer problem. So. But it kind of answered it already half. So when I sent in the last replay code on Tracer, it was like go to my angles, hold them for longer, save your blinks for one-on-ones, and then have good one-on-ones with your blinks. And I kind of tried to do that, but I absolutely have no feedback if I succeeded or not. So I just kind of tried to execute this strategy to improve that, but basically I have no idea if anything ever changed, or if I'm just autopiloting the same, or if it's better or worse. Or the same goes. Last Ashe was rotate back faster when I get dived on. And this again kind of like I try to train it, but then at some point I just rotate, but then I just don't get dived. So I don't know, did I rotate okay, or did they just not dive me? Or so basically I felt a little bit lost training last month because of these two characters, because the training was kind of it's very hard for me to define the feedback, like what's is success, how is success defined on these topics.
Yes. So there's two sources of feedback, okay? Two sources of feedback: immediate feedback and long-term feedback. Sometimes the immediate feedback can be you died, or you got punished, or you got a 5K, right? Sometimes. But usually the most consistent form of immediate feedback is to finish the game, pull up the replay viewer, go to the team fight, and look at the fight and think about it. And look at the fight and think about it. And spend 2 or 3 minutes, not an hour, not 10 seconds, but 2 to 3 minutes thinking, was this the right play? What could I have done differently here? Was this good? Did I play it well? Was there somewhere else I could have done, or something else I could have done? With the knowledge that you have, you absolutely are qualified to go back and look and think about if what you did was accurate, or if you could have done it better, or what could you have done differently. That's how feedback works. I'm not there to give you feedback every round. I won't be there. Nobody will be. That's your job. Now, and you notice that I didn't say go back and watch the whole map. You don't need to do that. Just go back and look at the fight. Go back and look at the fight. Pick a fight where you felt a little awkward and you weren't sure if what you did was correct or not. Go back and study it. Go back and study it.
Okay,
The
so
long term,
I create my own feedback by watching it. Okay.
give your own feedback. Give your own feedback, and everybody, almost everybody, is very qualified to give themselves feedback. And the reason the reason why people don't do that though is because it's a little bit of extra work, and people don't like to do that. It's boring. But if you want to get better, you need to give yourself feedback. You need to go back and you need to watch it.
My problem why I'm not doing that too much is because as soon as I open a team fight, I see, my Ana just went back for no reason, my tank forgot to reload,
That's your problem.
my Moira faded away. Like
Weak mental. Weak mental.
Yeah, but how do you judge if my action is correctly? Like for example, I see in my replay I was overextended, but I also see that everyone on my team could have walked up, and they just randomly decided to walk back for no reason. And for me it's like impossible to see the reason, but what's the conclusion? Like I see no point why I should have turned back, but the result is then overextended. So I don't know if that's my fault or if it's bad or not, because I don't see any clue for that in game.
Remember, when you're looking at the replay code, all you're looking at is the specific thing that you were supposed to practice at that moment. So if you're looking at your rotation, and if you look at the situation and you go, my rotation here was good. My cooldown usage was bad. My ultimate was bad. My aim was bad, but my rotation was good with the information that I had. Then that's okay. That's all.
Okay.
That's all. And you really need to focus on yourself. If you go, my teammates made a mistake and we lost the fight, but my rotation was good, great. That's all. If you said, I rotated badly, but my team also could have helped me, doesn't matter. You made the mistake. Focus on your mistake. You have to stop looking at what your teammates are doing. You only look at your teammates are doing and before the fight starts to educate where you should have been or what you should have been doing. That's it. So
basically, if I go with Tracer on an angle where I kind of can explain to myself why I went there, then it's good enough, regardless of if we win of that or not.
Yes, but I would say go one step further. When you go on an angle with Tracer, don't ask yourself if it's good enough. That's a bad question. Ask yourself if this was the best angle I could have chosen with the information that I had. And if the answer is no, then you need to get better. And if the answer is yes, and you just messed up, great. Excellent work. Try again next time. That's it. Don't look at fights where you died or you lost. You could look at fights where you popped off, where you won. Go like, what did I do really well here? Could I have done it something a little bit differently? I think this whole mindset of like looking at deaths is bad. So the immediate feedback is you looking back at what you just did. The long-term feedback is your rank. It's your rank. So you will know if you have improved your level of play if over time. I would say probably 3 or 4. I don't want to say weeks, or let's say 10 hours. 10 or 11 hours, I would say 10 plus hours, your rank should change to reflect your gameplay. Now, within those 10 hours, you will have loss streaks and win streaks. That's the nature of competitive. But over 10 hours, you should have a reflection of your skill improving or getting worse or staying the same. Now, I'm going to pull a wild card on you. I would like to live coach you, if you're comfortable with that.
Cool. Yeah, sure.
Will it hurt your frames if you stream through Discord and Twitch?
I think not, but I also have 600 FPS, so I can reduce to 200 and I'm fine.
Okay, let's try that, because I would like to implement some of the stuff that we talked about today.
Okay. Let me start the game.
Are you relatively warmed up?
Yeah, I since I created the VODs I sent you kind of earlier, so I played already today for 3 hours.
Oh, okay, so you're probably a little bit tired, so we'll keep that in mind. That's okay.
Well, I actually went sleeping after that, so I'm kind of refreshed already.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I did the Huberman non-sleep deep rest.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Now I just need to stream my Overwatch.
Yep. Just queue up, stream, and then we'll go.
Does my stream in Discord work?
Looks great. You are all set.
Okay.
So what I want us to do is I want you to see what map we're on, choose a hero, and then tell me what you would like to practice for that map.
Okay.
And then I want you to practice narrating what you're practicing, just what you're practicing. And then when we're done, we'll go back and we'll give you some immediate feedback. But I'm going to try to give you as a little feedback, and I want you to try and give yourself as much feedback as possible.
Okay, perfect.
Let's try and practice exactly what we were talking about.
We practice on focusing on game. So basically during the game, basically I forget that you exist, right? I just narrate.
Yes. I will be giving you prompts. So in other words, I will be asking questions like, where should you be? What should you do with dynamite here and there? And I will be focusing those prompts based off of what you tell me that you're going to practice. So I'm not going to ask you a question about every single thing that you're doing, but about what you're saying that you're practicing. But yeah, I'm not going to be telling you what to do necessarily. You'll get a feel for it. I'll be in your ear, but I won't be dominating things essentially.
Well, I've seen your other live VODs a little bit, so I think I know what to expect.
Excellent. Okay.
I hope I have not activated the delay, because sometimes I do put more delay so I have more time in deathmatch between matches.
Oh, okay.
Let me check if I have turned it off. It's 30 seconds extra to the maximum should be fine.
Sure.
Okay, it doesn't show. But I don't want to requeue now. Okay.
Sure, that's fine. What do you think of the battle pass this year? Or this season?
I have actually not opened it once.
Open it. So, and see what you got.
I'm collecting my 81 new ones.
Okay, oh, I see. My mistake.
So it's the battle pass. Let's go.
It's gonna be like. Yeah. Wait for it. Here we go. Here we go. Ding. Wait. Oh my goodness gracious. I didn't even see. I think the titles this year are pretty cool too, if I remember correctly.
But there was once a title called Peasant, and I think there will never be a better title than this one.
That is a very one. I think I have that one actually. Oh my goodness gracious.
It was the very first extra tier. Oh, the Doofus skin looked cool.
Yeah, pretty neat. It's got the cat ears. Congratulations, this is incredible.
Yeah. It's the count of how much lifetime you waste.
yes, exactly. Okay, what's the last tier? I'm curious. What's the 200 title? Pharaoh. Nice.
Paro.
Okay.
Well, that's boring.
Yeah.
The other one was Title for Noobs. That's a lot better.
Yes.
The one before.
So what do you think about this map? What do you want to play? What do you want to...
Oh, this is the map I'm torn most on what I play. I have to remember what downtown is.
Downtown, it's the circle point, the big circle point.
So here I always play Ashe I try to keep my distance from enemies.
Okay, so what do you want to practice then? The rotations then you? Oh.
No, dynamites, depending on how to say. Like, if they have divers, I want to defend with dynamite. If they don't have divers, I want to get max value of dynamite.
So you want to practice your dynamite then?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's practice your dynamite then.
Der hat halt Luno.
So scout comp, decide on your dynamite.
Okay, we get a Genji and a Reinhardt, so I think I have to burn the Genji. And I failed to burn the Genji. Burn the Genji.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay, I stay low ground because of Genji, and we rotate again with Dynamite when we have it.
You have it. Now what?
Burn the Genji, but I failed. Oh, I need to calm down.
Yep,
I
you're
notice
good.
I'm too floaty right now. I push the Zen. And now I can burn the backline. I think Genji is dead, so I don't need to defend, and so I die.
So here's what's happening. When I ask you to narrate, I want you to narrate dynamite, nothing else. So here's the challenge for you. Shut up. Just talk about dynamite. There's too many words. Just focus on your dynamite and relax.
Okay.
You're doing a good job.
So again, looking Ashe is on the left side, and there is no Genji to burn, so now I actually burn the backline because I don't need to burn.
You don't need to tell me
Defensively,
because. You don't need to tell me because. Just
We
do
burn
it.
the corner, we see.
That was better. A little bit less talking. That's fine. But I don't want you to tell me because. You don't need to explain it to me. You're not teaching me. You just tell me what you're doing, and that's all.
Okay.
Dynamite, what's the play?
I'm looking for squishies, but I cannot find them. As Cassidy on the right, and the other one's on the left. Another, so we burn the corner. We burn the Anna. We
Remember who's in charge.
Six
Dynamite.
seconds cooldown. Okay, we are ready. We burn the Ashe, so we can do her better.
It's go time.
Dynamite?
I don't want to burn the Rhine, but I can burn the Rhine because there's no armor.
Very nice. Very, very nice. That's the type of narration I want from you. This is perfect. Really well done.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
Okay, we just use the Dynamite because there's nothing I will need it in the next 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Try to fetch for Cassidy and dual charge. Okay, 3 seconds. We get in position to burn the Anna. Kind of pulling the trigger too fast. I need to fly it longer.
So this is a great example of you lose the fight because you're not positioned or set up as well, and you've unfortunately missed your dynamites on the back line, but this is good practice. I want to be very clear that what you're doing right now is very good. So this is a great example. Like the results are feeling ugly. You know, you tried to dynamite backline twice in a row, and it didn't quite hit, right? But you know what? It doesn't matter. This is exactly what you need to be doing with your practice. So you might lose this game badly. You might even play badly overall. But for what you're practicing, this is great. Really well done.
Okay.
Really
So
well done.
should I stick now with Dynamite because I started it? Or should I stick now with the character more fitting to the map?
Stick with that. Stick with that dynamite. I don't think Ashe is bad here. I don't think Ashe is bad here.
it's
So
playable.
yeah, I think
enough.
I think good enough. So keep up the good practice here.
Okay. So my prediction is that I Dynamite the choke, so I rotate to the left, so I Dynamite the choke.
Okay. Sounds
right,
good.
Right, it's right.
Yeah. I understand. Good. Dynamite's up soon. Start to think.
Okay, 2 seconds. We Dynamite the Zen because he wants to peek, and I don't want him to peek.
Very nice. Start to think.
2 seconds. Anna is good target, but so is Echo. Echo flew away. Anna was better target.
That's okay. That's okay. Start to think.
Oh, it didn't sync in time. I need to hit the Anna again because I cannot get to Zen left side. Five seconds.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I found the Zen.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful job. So this is a great example of where I think in general your positioning was not the greatest, right? And a couple of the dynamites missed, but again, wonderful practice and very, very high dynamite value as well, as you noticed. Like you guys are likely to
feel like absolute trash gameplay right now. I feel like
but that's okay. But that's okay. Stop. Turn the judgment off. Do your job. Dynamite.
Yeah. Kind of didn't see it because of ball.
That's okay. And you're still there. Nice. Sure.
2 seconds.
Start to think.
I should have burned the on the left side so it doesn't sleep up.
That's okay. That's okay.
Many stickies.
Again, for what you're practicing, you should feel very proud of this. And this is going to be your level of maturity here, where you feel proud of what you're doing, even if the result isn't good.
Okay.
You should feel proud of this.
It honestly feels different than my usual training sessions. So yeah, it's good. We only burn front end here because I don't want to peek deep.
Yes. Nice.
Okay, I will rotate.
Get ready, get ready, get ready. So that's where you force the dynamite. Right. You didn't need to use dynamite at all there.
I want dynamite Anna, but she went away, so I dynamite whatever.
Get ready.
They have no targets.
Yep, that's good.
So I know Zen is coming, so I want to get to Zen.
It's okay. Zoning dynamite.
Okay, 3 seconds. We just burn front line.
Yep.
I don't find even a front line.
So if you don't see a target, just save it, right?
So basically, we'll let them come to me and then burn when they quickly rotate.
Sure.
No.
Positioning issue, but the dynamite was fine.
Okay.
I know it's frustrating. I know you're like, oh, we're gonna don't. You did fine. You did fine.
Guess he's an inner. Okay,
Make this next dynamite good. Make this next dynamite good. This is very winnable.
And there's squishy. I cannot reach.
That's okay. And it still hits. Get ready.
And it will be right side. So enemies have to
Get
push,
ready.
so we can just burn whatever we find. It was too early, there was no target.
Yes.
Didn't scout.
Yes. Yep. Nicely done. Ha! You have the round turned up.
That's wrong. Okay.
But you know why? Because your team carried you. But you know what? You did very well in the previous round. You kind of carried your team the second half of the previous round. You did very well.
Okay.
That's how it goes. It's a team game. Okay. Excellent job. Do you feel how this is intense, but also relaxed? It doesn't feel too bad even when you're making mistakes. It's okay.
It feels very streamlined to dynamite only.
Yes. And now I'm helping you do that. But the challenge is, can you do this by yourself? That's the hard part. Okay, let's keep going. Let's start to think. Dynamite. Where should you set up?
I set up on the right side bridge and then
Okay.
throw through the doors because I expect Squishy to be one of the left or right door.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see it.
For Rissa, we don't need too much. It's a Cassidy, and we see Cassidy.
Get ready.
Oh, the Genji again. I want to burn the Genji so he never closes on me. But I can't find him, so we just put up pressure.
Very nice. It's fine. Good dynamite value. Good stuff.
Okay, so now I need to make sure the Genji is not close. If he's close, I need to burn Genji so he doesn't dive. Otherwise, I burn Diana if I can.
Brilliant. Love it.
But my team is dead.
It's too close. Too close given how many you were down.
Yep.
But nice dynamite. Right?
Or is the left. Genji right side, we burn the Genji.
Mm-hmm. Get ready. So what are you noticing about some of these deaths when you are looking for dynamite?
I'm hyper focused on dynamite and run just forward to throw them. Like I lock on a target 2 seconds before I throw it, but then I'm kind of too focused on hitting the dynamite, so I just W into whatever is there. So I kind of think I need to strafe more right side to throw it, and not
Sure.
forward.
Okay, let's make it happen
Keep
here.
it. Genji left side is good, so we can dynamite.
Good strat.
Five seconds. We dynamite close the door. And strafe left and miss it.
That's okay. Because why did you miss the dynamite? What were you trying to do better that time?
I was strafing to the side.
Right. And trying to not stand still, right? Which has been a problem. That's fine.
Okay.
Get ready.
Yeah. We'll try to reach the group.
Stay out of my way.
We don't need Bob. Dynamite the Genji. If I miss, if I hit.
Nicely done.
Okay, I go bridge again because I want to push into us. We wait for tank.
Okay.
And then
Okay. Dynamite, what do you got here?
I'm listening. But
When
I
do you
don't
wanna
hear any
use it?
squishies coming. So I just throw it in the first target I see.
Okay.
Just to stall a little bit.
Sure.
Need to be- Okay, we dynamite the door. So thrown deeper because Bob was there actually. Okay.
You got it. You got it. Should be okay. Maybe. Yep, we're good.
Okay, Genji and Anna dead, which means I can probably hit Moira or Cassidy if I find them.
Okay.
Okay, we can dynamite one more before I need to touch. I can't get the Genji, even though it would be good.
Oh, you almost had him there. So do
Yeah,
you
my tank is
notice?
actually there.
Do you notice, despite how like you were really focused on what you were practicing, right? and you
Yeah.
played badly as a result. But you almost won still.
Actually, true. Yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't play too badly. You had a couple of fights where you played really well. This was really, really, really well done. You should feel very good about this. And this is the best part about this. This is exactly what I was talking about in practice. This isn't the case for every player, but it is for most players. When I asked you what was the problem with your dynamites, you said, oh, I'm spamming them without thinking about target. Or you said, oh, I'm locking too much and moving forward and moving in a straight line and then dying as a result. And you know what? It's exact same stuff I was noticing. Exact same stuff I was
I have to
noticing.
say, it's kind of a little bit hard for me to remember a single dynamite I've thrown this entire game, which is kind of a little strange because I focused so hard on it. So I need to remember anything specific about it?
No, why not?
No? Okay.
No. Your job is just to practice. Your job is not to
Okay.
remember what you practice. Your job is just to practice.
Okay.
So let's give me the replay code, and we will give you some immediate feedback. And notice I said we, not me. We.
So we is the French word for yes, right?
Yes, we will give you feedback. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Really,
So
really nice.
Do you stream? Yeah. You
Yes,
stream,
I will stream. Nice job. So this is exactly what we talked about with the immediate feedback. We're only going to look at your dynamites. We know that there was positional issues. We know that you missed a lot of shots and you messed up coach guns and maybe your awareness was bad, but that wasn't what we were practicing, so we're not really worried about it. So I want you to give you immediate feedback on all your dynamites and only your dynamites. What do you think?
I think it could have been more prepared to throw the dynamite onto Genji because I heard him earlier. So if I was focusing more on finding the divers and dynamite them instantly, it's first action in the game, I can be faster with this dynamite. This dynamite was total waste. I'm actually not even sure why I was thrown this one. It was good. Give me the position. I didn't see.
I didn't
What did the
either.
dynamite do? Yeah, dynamite is first target. That's fine. Don't want to rotate deeper there.
You notice how easy this is? The easiest auto review of your entire life.
Okay. Could have thrown it earlier on the Anna. Like there was an option to throw it earlier. Yeah, this is then the corner on Anna is fine.
Okay, so this is a really important moment. You just said a dynamite was fine, even though it didn't hit anybody. You notice that?
Yeah.
And-
But it
and
has
you-
the potential to hit Anna. So it
See,
was,
that's what we're looking for. You notice that? So you said, oh, it didn't work, but it was the right idea. And that's a very important moment. Because you're right. Because you're right. You might lose this fight, but the idea and the strategy was good. So nice job. Because I agree. It's good. It's unlucky. Happens.
okay, this dynamite is good, but it shouldn't have been required if given better aim
But it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter.
The
That's
time
not,
was good.
it doesn't matter.
to finish off the target
Uh-huh.
behind the corner. This is fine. It's the center of mass, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see options to throw it, so it's fine to not throw it here yet.
And I remember
but-
you said here, Rhine doesn't have armor, and I don't
Yeah.
see squishies, so I'm going to go for the dynamite and the Rhine. And you
Yeah,
know
so
what?
it's a little bit late. About 2 seconds earlier, with this idea would
Well,
have been.
Oh, and
perfect.
it was late because you were looking for backline first.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
You didn't rush it. So this dynamite's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I'm going to throw dynamite because I'll have it by the time the fight starts. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw dynamite because I think Anna's there. Check this out.
Close enough.
Again, good dynamite, right? It's good dynamite. So what would you give yourself? How do you think you did this run?
Like dynamite wise?
Of course.
Yeah. So the ideas are there. but sometimes the execution just takes too long. Follow up on the idea.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I agree. I would say pretty decent though. Pretty decent. Probably better than average game. Yeah. So, notice that we're giving you immediate feedback here. And how many words have I said? Maybe a few, right? But mostly you.
Yeah, good. They should push the corner and we stop them. It's fine. On Zen, it's fine. He's around the corner. We see him. Force him to rotate away with his cloud shot. Left it on Ender would have been better than going for flyer. Could have just thrown it earlier onto ball.
Why?
Because I feel like in this situation, the backline was not really pushed up to ball, so he was a little bit overextended compared to his team. And so I tried to force the dynamite, which kind of, so I kind of like opened myself up too much for where I could have just, how to say it? Like I tried to hunt the dynamite on the squishes, but I'm over focusing on this specific topic, I think, a little bit.
Does that sound familiar? Do you remember this fight when you were like looking for squishies and then then squishies were too far, so you dynamited tank?
Yeah.
This situation you made the right decision. This situation you made the wrong decision. Right? Because not this one, but this one right here, right? So you're like, you really want to go for squishies, but like they're so far away that you actually put yourself out of position to go for squishies.
Yeah.
You know, that's a pretty advanced concept, right? That you just, I didn't tell you that. You told yourself that. And not only did you tell yourself that now, but I remember in the moment here, you were critiquing yourself. You're like, I reached too far with my dynamite. And guess what? You're right. It worked out, but it's lucky, and you almost died as a result, right?
Yeah.
You're really good at coaching yourself.
It was good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, also good. Didn't rush it. Looked for opportunity. Was nice. Was okay-ish. Like I could have scouted Zerna on the left a little bit faster, but it's kind of okay-ish.
I felt like you didn't really have a good idea of like exactly where they were. You know, they thought that there were vaguely people back here, but not really sure where.
Yeah.
It's still decent zoning value. You know, so like it's still like it zones out Zen. It does hit Cassidy, I think. Or it almost hit Cassidy, right? So, yeah. Good idea. Whoops.
I have actually trouble looking at that speed sometimes.
Oh, I see. I'm practiced. This is one of those dynamites I think where like again your backline I don't know is a little too far. Maybe it's too hard to get, so I just dynamite tank, you know?
Yeah, team is not pushed up yet, so I just dynamite whatever front line. But now we are rotating them and I have dynamite back nearly, so it was kind of okay. Here I'm delaying it and then throwing it away randomly. It's nothing. Okay. Yeah, this was yeah. Again, throwing dynamites at flyers is
yeah. So what needed to be done differently here?
It should just keep dynamite until I get actually a target I can actually burn.
Yes, that's it. You got it. Whoops.
Didn't rotate in time when my cooldown was up, so I could have rotated faster when dynamite was at 3 or 4 seconds. Could have started rotating right side. They might have found a target, but I didn't look for a target on time.
I do remember you calling at this point as well that you were not confident that you could reach backline, and so you were willing to dynamite tank. And again, I think that's okay. You see it?
Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure. Like, if I see it the 4 second, I didn't actually check if they are not in choke. It looks like kind of like right now.
So like here,
I'm not actually looking to the cloak. I'm already rotating left side. So of course I found nothing if I don't look in the direction.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now the question is, would you want to be in this position? Is my question, right?
Yeah, that's
But you know what? I think that's a really good recognition from you, though. Okay. I agree.
Well, this walking forward awkward thing into Zen shots, but in general the corner was okay. Throw it into this corner. Don't find targets, it's fine. We wait for them to push. Now they are pushed up, and now I overextend for the dynamite. Okay.
You recognized this in the next round. Do you remember when I asked
Yeah.
you what's wrong with your dynamites? It was that stuff right there.
No. Okay. But did it land? What's... So in general, throwing to this cloak on the front, I think is okay because it would have done anything to ball. But at the same time, left side Anna would have been a better target than the right side Echo. But I was a little bit under pressure from ball, so it's a little bit panicked. Yeah, was ready and looked for opportunity. It's good.
Okay, that's the round. Now I'm looking at probably more fights than you ever will in a self-VOD review. But I'm showing you that even when you look at an entire match, you can still be pretty quick. Because we're really only looking at the dynamite. It's like a sentence or two for each, and then that's all.
So basically set the skip timer to the dynamite, the cooldown length, and then just skip every.
That's it. You got it. Yeah.
Okay, it's nice because we saw that there is no divers on us. Throw it into the mess. Yeah, it's also okay, except that I walk forward.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. Yeah, you're not getting punished for it every fight, but you are very you're like a zombie. You know, I see dynamite. You look like a bronze player for just a second. You know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like bronze enders always jump forward when nading. I don't know.
Yes. 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 Yes.
It's the exact same thing.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, just into the mess. It's fine, but of course, position is overextended. Was a wild guess this dynamite, but at the same time I don't think that I will get a good opportunity in the next up. Like it's a tough room to dynamite, so I'm not looking for too much value inside here.
And this is gonna look familiar.
Yeah, we walk forward into Moira Beam.
You also didn't have HP when you peaked as well. Part of that is okay because again you're focusing on dynamite, so you're not really tracking your HP. But yeah.
Yeah, I had really 0 brain cells left for HP tracking.
That's okay, and that's okay. You know.
Yeah. Here also I had the idea to throw it over it, and I think I should have gone for it instead of throwing left. I think I should have thrown it over it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the first idea was better.
I agree. Good idea,
Yeah.
just missed.
Oh.
Good idea, just missed. Good idea, but this time you didn't miss.
But I jumped forward for it.
That's true, that's true.
1 second. Okay.
Kill the Genji.
The zoning dynamite and Cass runs into it. It's nice.
Right. So you were saying I want to dynamite early here because I want to give my team time to come back.
Yeah. This dynamite I can do better because I already know that they will be looking at Bob, so I throw dynamite behind Ryan so that he has to choose Bob or dynamite. So this should have fly deeper.
And you called it too in the moment
Yeah.
too. Like it was really good recognition. Yeah. And I think we get one more dynamite. Maybe we do get one more. Yeah, I think we get one more good one here.
Hit the Cass, could have let it fly a little bit longer.
Yep.
So
It felt
more as well.
it felt like you just kind of threw it at a clump. You didn't really know who you were aiming for.
Yeah.
And obviously hitting Moira and Cassidy here would have been maybe a fight-winning move here.
But throwing at a clump is not a mistake in general, right? So it's
No, it's not.
okay.
No, it's not. Yeah, just lean it towards the squishy side of the clump, right?
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, and that's all. And that's all.
Okay.
That's all your immediate feedback. So then the best part about this is now you can go in and play one more game practicing dynamite. And what could you practice about with your dynamite? Not just practicing your dynamites, but what could you practice about your dynamites?
Well, unbind W when I throw dynamite.
Yeah, no zombie walk, right? No zombie
no
walk.
zombie walk, yeah.
Or like if they're too far, just wait or dynamite tank in the meantime, right? Like look, not forcing the opportunities. And again, like obviously here, what I did is I pulled the best, smartest, most focused energy out of you, right? I pulled the best out of you. That was my job today, is to show you that deep inside, you have this inside you. You do. You just have to pull it out. Now, the key thing is you don't need to maintain this level of focus for very long, because this is an exhausting level of effort.
Yeah, that's actually I need a break.
You do.
1 game, this is insane.
Yeah, one game and the VOD review. This is intense brain work, right? But this is exactly how you're going to get better, is doing things like this. You're a very intelligent player. You're very experienced. You know, usually these kind of things are a lot harder because platinum players aren't that smart. But you are. You're different. You've been around a long time. You've been in Masters. You've played a lot of different characters. So you have the knowledge that I don't really have to teach you about positioning and angles and how to use dynamite. You already understand all the details. You just need to pull this level of energy and effort more often so that it becomes more autopilot, more second nature. And so a lot of your frustrations about, I don't feel like I can practice that well, I get bored, I don't know how to give myself immediate feedback. Well, here you go. This is how you do it.
Okay, yeah, that's actually really helpful to kind of see which intensity I can actually reach.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes. And notice that I don't think I taught you a single thing in your live coaching or in our VOD review. I don't think even the little things like the zombie walk and like forcing dynamite too deep and going for tank. I didn't even bring that up. You brought that up, and
Yeah,
it's
I can
actually
notice the things
you
myself,
notice
yeah.
it. You notice it first, and not only did you notice it in the review, you noticed it in live. Like you were so locked in. So this is great. This is exactly what you need to be doing. Now, again, you're not gonna be able to do it for very long, and it is very hard to do this also while streaming. But this is brilliant. This is brilliant. Now, your challenge is, how often can I do this, and how often can I maintain this? And when I'm practicing, can I do this more often? And so everything, your focus right now needs to be on, can I do this, and how often can I do this? And when you do it, you got it.
Okay.
Nice job.
Yes, this will be my goal then for the upcoming months.
Okay. The goal is to practice like this,
Intensity
more
training.
intensity, and then being able to incorporate that into your streaming schedule as well, because that is a challenge in of itself. So, okay, any questions?
Actually not, because I'm a little bit overwhelmed right now.
Yes, you're gonna need to sit and think this through off of stream probably as well. Yeah. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even type any notes. I'm just gonna have you think about,
that's perfectly fine.
There's no feedback. There's no feedback here. It's not
I will
feedback.
highlight my own vote and watch it again, and I know everything.
Sure. Remember, the goal here is not so much of what you need to practice with Ashe, but how you need to practice Overwatch. Okay.